Good evening. This is Dawn Baker, and welcome to our WTOC Digital Update. We're, of course, streaming this on Roku, Amazon Fire, the website, as well as our news app and Facebook. We're going to bring you some of the latest stories happening around our country and right here at home. We begin tonight with some sad news to report. Former First Lady Barbara Bush has passed away at the age of 92. As you know, we learned Sunday that Mrs. Bush was in failing health and would no longer seek additional medical care after a series of recent hospitalizations. Now, she was plain spoken, and we love that about her, and she lacked all pretense, and that's what endeared her to this country when her husband was president. She is survived by former President George H.W. Bush, as well as their 6 children, including former President George W. Bush. Well, details are still coming in about that deadly tragedy on board a Southwest Airlines flight today. 1 passenger killed and more than a dozen injured. In audio between the pilot and the control tower, you can hear the pilot saying that part of the plane was missing and that someone went out of a hole in the plane. Scary moments for the passengers on board that plane. 1 passenger, you see him there with the picture there posted on Facebook. He says that he thought that he was going to die, so he went to Facebook Live to say goodbye to all of his family and friends.
It felt like it was free falling, and of course everyone's freaking out. Everybody's crying.
As tragic as this is only the 2nd fatality in Southwest history. The first was in 2005 involving a person on the ground when the plane skidded off the runway. We'll have the very latest details coming up for you tonight on The News at 11. And day 1 of a murder trial of a man accused of killing an Army captain in Savannah is over. Dion James faces malice and felony murder charges in the 2004 shooting death of Scott Corwin. Arshawn Evans was in the courtroom as Corwin's girlfriend described what happened in those moments before he passed away.
911 recordings from those who heard the gunshots and rushed to help. Also played was the 911 call from Mindy Davis. Corwin was shot twice and died from those injuries a short time later.
I could tell he wasn't going to be okay. He was so scared, and I was so scared.
The couple was on their way home from a night out with friends and just blocks away from Scott's apartment just off of Forsyth Park.
He was so close to safety. He was so close to home.
For jurors' consideration today, the prosecution called on witnesses who heard the gunshots at Monterey Square, some of Corwin's friends and a roommate, a forensic officer who worked the night Corwin was killed, and a man who told police Jones admitted to shooting a white man he tried to rob just days after the murder.
Can you tell the jury why at that point you weren't willing to come forward and be a testifying witness?
Just didn't want to get involved at the time.
Jones' attorney, Richard Darden, called into question the credibility and motives of some of the state's witnesses, especially those he maintained are interested in the cold case reward money.
What I want you to do in this case, and this is important, okay, because the evidence in this case depends absolutely on the testimony of these snitches, okay? Also, keep this in mind, there's a reward in this case.
And come on back for The News at 11 tonight. We will have new testimony from a man who testified that the defendant actually confessed to him that he killed Corwin when they were in a bar together. We'll also have day 2 of the testimony beginning tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Sean Evans will be back in the courtroom for you. Starbucks is closing its 8,000 company-owned stores in the United States on May 29th to educate employees about racial bias. The news follows an uproar over the arrest of 2 black men who were waiting for a friend in the Philadelphia Starbucks last week. And when they were arrested, now the company's CEO, Kevin Johnson, met with the men on Monday and apologized about how they were treated. The racial bias training will be given to about 175,000 workers. Well, one equipment dealer in Statesboro got quite a $250,000 surprise on yesterday when he got into work. Dow Kennedy has the story of how someone just drove off with those high-dollar tractors over the weekend.
The owners of Low Country Kubota came to work Monday to find a gate lock broken and then pieces of equipment missing. No way they could anticipate how much or the fact it would all be captured on video. Security footage shows a tractor trailer backing onto the lot late Saturday night, crooks loaded up 3 skid steers like this one and a mini excavator.
They pulled in here and loaded up with our loading dock back here, totaled up right at $247,000.
He says the video shows them methodically finding certain inventory and loading them onto the truck.
We have them clear on camera, picking out the machines that they wanted. There was 3 guys. They cranked the machines up, had keys.
He and his wife think it has to be people in the equipment business who can sell on the black market. He's also heard from other dealers in Georgia and South Carolina who've been targeted too.
We're not going to let a thing like this ruin us. This is what insurance is for, but we hope in the long run that they catch these people.
They've shared the images on their social media, hoping someone with information sees it and brings them a lead to catch the crooks. Anyone with information is asked to get in touch with the Bullitt County Sheriff's Office. Meanwhile, the owners are putting up what they say is a sizable reward for any information that leads to an arrest and a conviction. Near Statesboro, Dow Kennedy, WTOC News.
Georgia Southern University Statesboro campus is looking even more patriotic thanks to a group of students and staff today and what they did. The team of 11 students and staff members hoisted American as well as Georgia flags outside the campus residence halls this morning. They will oversee the display area at each of the eight complexes. The team includes staff members who've served in the military as well as students who are now active duty. They tell us the display helps show the university's patriotic side.
Just shows that we're a very patriotic, military-friendly school. We love our state, we love our country, and it just shows.
Well, that same team is also going to be responsible for those flags by taking them down during bad weather, lowering them during times of mourning, and retiring and replacing those flags when they become tattered. Parking charges may be enforced in Forsyth Park. That is, the city has its way. The city will be holding a meeting on next Tuesday to get your feedback on the proposed change to parking. The proposal would add a $1 an hour parking charge to 3 locations in Forsyth Park: the Drayton Street Cafe lot, the Park Avenue Tennis Court lot, as well as spaces along Park Avenue. That meeting will be held at the Savannah Civic Center beginning on April 24th from 4 until 6 in the evening. Everyone is encouraged to attend. The city says the money made from the parking will eventually be used to maintain the park facilities, add additional police patrols, and install public restrooms at the southern end of the park. And don't forget to come on back for your next digital update with our Jamie Ertl. She'll have your complete forecast. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us.